David, yesterday in here you talked about a lighter feeling that you were carrying just because of your recent success. How does that manifest itself today in terms of getting ready and then in terms of being out there?
I just try to keep it the same. You know, same as in Houston and same as every other game. You know, don't put any added pressure or anything of that nature. Just go out there and throw strikes and execute pitches and rely on my defense, and that's what we were able to do.
And Rich right here.
Dave, just comment on the way the guys extended that two-out rally to get 2 runs for you there.
I feel like we've been a very good offense all year long with 2 outs, and that's tough to do. You know, whenever that pitcher is 1 pitch away from being out of an inning, and to be able to have nobody on base with 2 outs and to start a rally like that, that can deflate teams, so that's huge.
Right up front here, Mike.
David, 2 outs, bases loaded, 4th inning after you hadn't allowed a hit through the first 3 innings, bases loaded, nobody out. To get out of that, just the 2 runs. What do you and your son think of that? How important that was? That
was very important. Just told myself to continue to make pitches, and I made a lot of good pitches that inning. They hit some, took some. Just that was a tough inning. It could have spun, you know, out of control pretty fast, and you know it's been one of my Achilles heels, you know, especially in the playoffs and even in the regular season. It's just that big inning, you know, being able to stop it at 2, you know, right there after the Puig hit to center. That was big for us.
And Pete, 3rd row on your left.
David, I guess sort of on that topic, after you allowed the 2 runs, you locked it down from there. Was that, for the 3rd time through the order, did you change anything in terms of your sequencing at that point, or was it just that you were that sharp at that point?
I was pretty sharp. I was, you know, fastball command is, that's the key for me, Tiff. That's the, you win, dude. Gummit. Go to mama. Fastball command is always the key, and it started from pitch 1, you know, to Dozier. That was he's a hitter that's done, you know, some good damage against me in his career. That's the first hitter I faced in a Red Sox uniform. You know, that was my first hitter in spring training in 2016. He waxed a double off the monster, you know, in Fort Myers. So to be able to control him tonight, that was big.
Buck, the 3rd row in the center.
David, Alex was just here a few minutes ago, and he said that you were, his words, really into it tonight. And he mentioned you speaking to an umpire between innings and also a smile on your face when you finished off the 6th inning. Can you speak to that, and were you as really into it as he suggests?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's the World Series. If you're not into it, you should probably go home. So, yeah, I was into it.
And 1st row on your left here.
Hey, David, I'm curious about your song you use for Walk Up, the Russ song, the flute song, right? Is there a reason you picked that song? I know it has that people keep talking, but I keep winning type line. Is there?
Come out to it for quite a while now. It's a song that Swihart sent to me the night before I pitched and said, you should walk out to this. I listened to it, I loved it, and I walked out to it. And that's in the story.
And we'll get the microphone to Mark here.
Hey, David, you were talking about you felt like you got over a hump with the win in Houston. What does winning a World Series game mean in the career context of stuff you've done now?
It's huge, you know, just to this is the biggest stage, you know, in baseball. You know, there's no other stage that's going to be bigger than, you know, pitching in a World Series game, unless it's Game 7 of the World Series. So, you know, to be able to do that, you know, that's that feels good for sure. You know, I'm pumped for myself, pumped for all my teammates and coaches. For us to be 2 wins away and up 2-0 right now in the World Series, that's a good feeling.
On the 2nd row to your right here.
David, right here. So you've been here 3 full years now. What's it like at Fenway Park in late October when you win a game?
Cold.
And stay 2nd row here.
David, right here. Nights like tonight, is this why you decided to come to the Red Sox years ago? And is it sweeter for you, given the adversity and the disappointment that you, with the injury last year and stuff, that you've had to overcome to get to this point?
Yeah, I mean, or 108 wins in the regular season, beating the Yankees in the ALDS, beating the reigning champs in the ALCS, and being up 2-0. You know, it's part of the reason why I came here. Absolutely, and we've won the AL East the last 3 years, and a Boston team had never won it back-to-back years, which that blows me away. But for us to be able to do it 3 times and to be where we are right now, that's absolutely the reason why I came here.
And 4 rows back on your left, Bill.
Dave, as you know, so much of the storyline going into the postseason was about your October, but also about Clayton Kershaw's. I wonder if you know him at all, either from All-Star games or anywhere else, and what sympathy you might have for him, given that you guys are the two that have had to deal with this unfortunate label for so long.
He'll be fine. He's a Hall of Famer, so he'll be fine.
We'll do 2 more.
You mentioned yesterday about in the spring. You talked about the importance of winning the grapefruit and everything that AC was talking about. What's it been like to finally get through this year? This could be your last home game of the season, and sort of have watched him operate as a manager and get the squad to where they are now in terms of a team.
He's been awesome. You know, starting before spring training even started. You know, carrying through the spring training games, and then through 162 games, and then through the playoffs. You know, he hasn't changed. You know, he hasn't altered either way. You know, he hasn't gotten too low or too high. You know, when I see him in the dugout, he's just walking around having conversations with guys. You know, sometimes it's about baseball and what's going on, and sometimes it's, you know, completely different stuff, you know, not baseball related. And for him to be able to separate the two, you know, with everybody in our clubhouse, that's very unique.
And to your right, AJ.
A lot of focus has been lately on the length of games. Tonight's game was the quickest to the postseason. You know, do these games seem longer to you than maybe when you started your career? And did tonight's go by any faster?
I mean, there's, I think, 3 minutes in between innings for commercials, and every pitch is so big. You know, you're not going to go out there and rush through pitches. You know, you're taught ever since you're a little kid to be able to slow the game down, and now baseball wants to speed it up. So I don't care. I'm taking my time. I know I'm slow.
Well, thanks for taking the time, David, and congrats to your whole